Hello. Welcome to another Kinbor video. This one is the, doesn't say, I think it's called the Timed Weekly Manage Time and Control Life. That sounds good. Turn the page, well, let me take this plastic off real quick. That would help. This is interesting, kind of like a pleathery feeling. Okay, so it says turn the page on yesterday, only ever think about today and tomorrow. Good advice. A piece of very thick vellum. I realized I didn't show this for my last Kinbor video, so this is totally copying the Hobonichi kind of little how to use it pamphlets. So there's some ideas. So basically, I'm hoping to have, actually, hang on. I'm hoping to have this be my ink journal for 2026. In 2024, I used this sterling ink. Of course, I opened it to the page that I spilled on. This sterling ink basically sands in, 2024 sands in monthly, weekly, daily journal as my kind of ink and pen and everything journal. Last year, I used one of my old OG Hobonichi notebooks. Now, I was doing my kind of a social media, here's all the videos I did kind of thing. I feel like that's a waste of my river paper. And because I was so lazy and I didn't want to draw out the whole year with the weeks going this long, I did it this way so I could have 2 weeks per spread. The only problem with this is that there was no room. There's not really, I didn't feel like it would look good if I wrote my notes about, certain combinations. Like I wrote with this. These are all when I write it in my journal. But yeah, I don't know. I liked the longer version because sometimes I don't know whether I'll be able to find one, but sometimes I did write a note. Might get a grind on this pen to make it have more character, just little things like that. I sometimes, if I felt like it, wrote a note about it. Because I don't do, here's a bunch of notes. I don't do the end of the month review. Just not organized enough for that in my ink life. But I like that this had back pages that I could, do all my currently inks and my, swatching with friends and things like that. I have a feeling this might not have back pages, but let's find out. This is iridescent. Can you see it? It's kind of got a gold iridescence to it. Weird. Here we have 2025, 2026, and 2027 calendars. I never look at these things. This is kind of a future log tracker situation. That could be interesting. I may be able to do something with that. I really just want this to be pens and inks situation. So here is where I can do, where is it? This. I did not want to draw this out this year. That took forever, especially because I do like doing the stencil on the weeklies. So I didn't want to have to draw all the lines out and do the stenciling. So it starts in January. This is Bachuan paper. I'll do a pencil test in a bit. One thing that is bugging me a little bit. Wow, why are these sticking? Is kind of how intrusive all this is. So, but I'm going to live with it because I don't want to draw it out. I may change my mind at some point and move into a different notebook, but as it stands, the plan for this is to use it as my ink journal. I may figure out a way to make some stickers that kind of covers that, but I may not need to do my stenciled numbers because it's already there. I don't know. We'll see. Maybe I'll just do washi tape across the top and I'll have a big bulky book at the top of the thing. Who knows? So it does have some blank pages. It's got, oh, that's fantastic. I'm so happy. 63 blank pages. So I could have 12 currently inked, 12 Fountainers swatching, and you know, the rest could be swatching with friends and new ink days. I think this will be kind of enough. I mean, I used a lot in here, but there's all these weird blank pages in the middle of everything. So I think if I just plan this better, like I did this year, I had all my currently inks in a row. I had all my Fountainers in a row. Swatching with friends in a row. Yeah, and just none of these things, I didn't do them. Pinventory, wish list, nibventory, but I can do that in this next book. There were definitely a lot more blank pages in this, but I don't know if I need all those blank pages, because if I'm going to be doing some experiments or something like that, or, you know, just swatching things to figure out which ink I want to use that month, I can do it in the blank pages I've still got left in here. I'm super thrilled to see there's plenty of blank pages in here. So now, I guess, let's see, do I have time? I don't think I've got time to do the pen test right now. So at the end, let's go back, you know, in case you're thinking of using this as a planner, which I'm not. At the end, it looks like there's some sort of project schedule thing, a gift list, 21 days plan. I've never used any of these kinds of things. Favorites. Lots of favorites. I think this is, what is that? Face massages? Okay. But yeah, it's a bunch of stuff I'll never use, basically, in the back. It's all the same things that were in the Kinbor weeks, but this feels like the right kind of paper. Oh, do I have time? You know what? No, I don't have time because I don't have all the pins together. So I will find the pins and I will do a pin test later. And that will be that. This has these bookmarks. I'm probably just going to cut them off. I don't really like these things. They just kind of get in my way. I tend to use those tabs that I make instead. So I'll probably cut those off. But that is what the plan is for this guy. Monthly, weekly, undated dailies, I guess you could say. So if you don't use a bunch of dailies, but you do like the monthly and the weekly and the Hobonichi, and you can't afford that crap today, this year, this could be an option for a planner. It's quite thin. I actually like the feeling of this. And I like this color. This color was called mint something. I'll put it up on the screen. Yeah, let's see. It's a little bit taller than what a cousin would be. So let me go get my cover and see if it's just a little bit wider too. Okay, let me take these out so you can see this. Take all my junk out. All right. So a little bit wider. Can you see? And a little bit taller. I guess I could measure that. I'll measure that and I'll put the measurements of how much wider and how much taller it is. But let me go see if it fits in my Bachuan cover. That won't be a deal breaker if it isn't, because I really haven't been putting it in there. Just because this thing is not easy to put into a bookshelf. You know, it bumps up into this thing on other notebooks. It does. It fits in just fine. Yeah, I kind of stopped keeping it in here because I was so afraid of spilling ink on it. This is the chestnut, which is my favorite color of the Moterm Veg Tan covers. I've got caramel in A6 and I've got espresso in Weeks. And this is my favorite color by far. All right, I will come back later with a pen test. Okay, I just remembered I have to watch Resident Alien when I get back from my socializing. So I'm going to try it now. This is the pen test I did in the 2025 Kinbor weeks and the new 2026 Kinbor weeks. And so I tried to grab as many of these things as I could. Wait, I think I'm missing the Pentel sign pen. Where's that? I just had those over here. Hang on. Okay. In my crochet hook container. Let's see. Because I had two different kinds of sign pens. Got that kind. I need... Did I grab one of these already? I thought I did. Yes, I did. Never mind. Never mind. Okay. So, where did I put the damn... Move these all to the side. Put it in the cover, and I couldn't remember. All right, let's take it out. And do I mind if it bleeds through? Probably not, but I think I want to kind of put something there so we don't see behind. My trusty piece of paper. I think that's good enough. All right, so I'm as organized as I usually am. All right, so the first thing we did was the parallel. See if I can remember how to spell parallel, because that seems to be a problem with me. Okay. All right, everybody, I'm writing at an awkward angle for me, so be kind. There's my husband. All right. And then Iridescent Robert, I wrote with a dip pen. Where to put the dip pen? It was just over here. Really? Where is it? I just had it. All right, well, like neither of them are over here. I am super mystified at the moment. What the heck? It should be either in this. All right, one second. It's on my little tray behind me. Okay, Iridescent Robert. So that is this sheening ink. We will come back to it later and do a swatch. Iridescent Robert. Okay. we've got the Atramentis Dark Gray. Where's that Twisby? I actually did have a little bit of document black. It's in my Twisby vac fill thing because this is vac mini. Dark black. Diamond Smoky Mauve. What was next? Oh god, the dot. Where's the dot pen? Hang on. Dot marker in black. Okay, Energel Clenna. Because I think a lot of people were having problems with Energel Clenna's either bleeding or feathering or something with last year's Tomoe River. So here's the Sharpie. Bleeds through everything, but everybody wants to see. Papermate Flare. Tombow Fudonosuke. Okay. I can't brush letter, so no laughing. I bought a lot of pins so that I would learn it, but I did not learn it. Well, I learned it and then I forgot it. Pentel sign pen. That's this one. Couldn't find the black, so we're doing red. And then we're doing the Tombow. Here's another Tombow, but we'll do that same kind of color, which is weirdly lighter. Kind of like the color of the Tombow. Ballpoint. Ballpoint. We'll put that aside because we're going to do that one again. And then we did a swatch. A really juicy one. And then we did watercolor. Did I bring a watercolor brush? I've got this one. And here's the watercolors. Pretty sure I used this one last time, so we'll just do it again. And I'm going to try and get kind of towards the edge of the page to see whether I can get it to crinkle. Okay. And then we had, I don't have a stub done. So I grabbed this smaller kind of, it's similar to B nib, but it's by manuscript. So we'll do it with this ink. Not sure that it's going to show us anything different than what the parallel or the swatch showed us, but we'll just do it anyways. Robert Oster, the Great Owl. Am I out? No! That was the last of it. No. Okay. Robert Oster, the Great Owl. All right. And then we will do mild liner. Let me close this before something bad happens. And then we will do Pilot Coletto. And this is 0.4 as well. Pilot Coletto Gel 0.4. All right, so we need to wait for these to dry, and I will be back and I'll show you both sides, and that will be that. This is not feathering. It did feather, can you see on this one? A little bit. I mean, the shimmer still showed up on this one, but the sheen did not. You can already see the sheen is showing up for us on here. What about in the writing? Yeah, I can see it in the writing. Okay, I'll be back. Okay, I used my dryer to cheat because I gotta get going. Okay, parallel, lots of shimmer, no feathering. You can see the sheen, or at least I can, on this, the iridescent Robert. There doesn't seem to be feathering on kind of anything. Look at that mad sheen. So the difference between the Bachuan paper and this is that this is that same ink. No sheen at all. And it took a while to dry. Crinkle for the crinkle people. The Sharpie bled through. The parallel kind of bled through. But I'm going to be honest with you. The same thing kind of happens when I swatch on the OG Tamara River paper. So this started bleeding through the iridescent Robert. I mean, that was a massive pool of ink, though. And that's just going to happen. So I scribbled about 5 times on that R. Remember, I wasn't able to get that pen to start. So that kind of started coming through. But other than that, ghosting. Oh, mild liner. God, I hate that. I hate the end of mild liners. I don't tend to use highlighters because of that. Yeah. So, I mean, there's ghosting, and the reason why I use fountain pens is because I tend to death grip and write hard if I don't. So you can see that. It's thin paper. That's just going to happen. But yeah, this is going to work for my ink journal. And I'm very happy. We'll see how I feel about all this stuff being in there. I got kind of used to just a very faint or non-line, so... And we'll see if I do anything about that, and if I actually write in the numbers with my stencil. But this is the pen test, and yeah, there's an option for you guys. I think this was 12 pounds.